In this video, I'm going to share with you how to calculate rent for your Airbnb in 5 minutes. Plus, I'm going to give you my top 5 markets to start or get your next Airbnb in. Guys, you're going to want to stay every second of this video because it's going to be power packed with information so you can literally know if you're leaving money on the table or is it a good move to get into that property. Most people struggle on Airbnb because they picked the wrong property. The number one reason that people fail on Airbnb is simply because they picked the wrong property in the wrong market and they didn't check the number. So this video is going to be for you. If you don't want to leave money on the table and you want to know that the market is strong, plus you want to know, is the money going to make sense for us to put the property on Airbnb, or should we leave it alone and find another property? Step number 1, and that is understanding the 2X method. Very simple formula. Watch this. If the property owner, remember, we're not buying the property, we're just renting the property from a landlord, getting their permission to put it on short-term rental platforms like Airbnb. If they're renting the property for $2,000 a month, that's their asking price. How do we know that this property is actually going to make sense for us financially to put it on Airbnb so we can cover the rent and utilities? Here's what you're looking for. If it rents for $2,000, you want $4,000 or more in guest revenue average, okay? I'm gonna do it again. If the rent is $1,800 a month, you want $3,600 or more in guest revenue average. If the rent is $5,000, you want $10,000 a month in guest revenue average. Now, is it gonna be exact? No, but it gives you a good framework as to what you should be looking for when I show you step 2, that the money should be coming in to that tune, because if not, now you could potentially be coming out of pocket to pay the landlord instead of adding money. In other words, you wanna make money, not lose money in Airbnb. So in this case, if we have a double or very close to it, we know that even in the low season, okay, which is generally going to be December through March, the beginning of March, you have stored up enough to where you're comfortable with the money that you've made or potentially have made throughout the year in peak season. Now, let's go to step number 2. This is very simple formula. So now I told you that you're looking for a 2X, right? Property 2,000. You want $4,000 or more in guest revenue. But how do we know that number? So you can get onto airdna.co. When you're on airdna.co, you're going to look for where it says projected revenue. Now, how you're going to get to that is you're going to type in the property address at the top. When you're on AirDNA, go to revenue calculator at the top and click, put in the word, put in the address right there at the top. And it's going to bring up the projected revenue. It's going to say based on 365 days, this particular property could generate X amount per year. So that projected revenue is a yearly calculation. Here's the formula. What you're gonna do is take that number and divide by 12. So let's say that it was $50,000 that it said for that property. You want to divide by 12. Why? Because we wanna know what the monthly revenue is, not the yearly revenue. We take our 50,000, we divide by 12. Now, once you've divided by 12, here's an easy calculation. When you have that number, minus out about $800. I have combined, to make it easy, cleaning and utilities and I combined about $800. It could be less, it could be more, but generally it's about $800. So we took our 50,000, we divided by 12, we've minused out $800, and then the second thing you want to remove is your rent payment. Let's say that's $2,000. So now that number that's left over needs to be above, in my opinion, and this is what I teach my students, that needs to be above $1,500 for you to stay safe throughout the year, to, have that cushion, so you in peak season and in low season. This, guys, if you watch this video over and over again if you need to, it's really, really good in the simple fact that you're going to understand the number. Let's recap really quickly. So property rents for $2,000. We're looking for about $4,000 a month in guest revenue average. Okay. So now we have a good mindset of what we're looking for. Now, when you go to airdna.co, you put the address in there and it's going to give you the rental calculator. It's going to put the address in the rental calculator. It's going to give us what we're looking for is projected revenue. It's going to tell us the projected revenue, but it's going to give us the yearly. Take that number, divide by 12. Once you divide by 12, minus out $800. That will include your cleaning cost and include your utility. Then from that number, minus out the rent payment. What's left over is your potential net profit. That number needs to be above $1,500. If it's less than $1,500, in my opinion, I would pass on the property and I would look for another one. If you just watch this video over and over again, you're going to really understand how Airbnb works, and you can really understand how it's very scalable, because if you follow that method and you're finding properties and doing the due diligence and research, like I just said, you're likely to do well and be able to get a property number 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10, 20, right? Because you've got the cushion there in the net profit because you you followed that method. My name is Investor Mike. I'm the #1 Airbnb coach in America, guys. If you need help at all getting your first property, understanding how this works, needing your handheld because you're not sure where to start, how to get started, just put the word Airbnb in comments and I'll reach out to you personally directly. We can have a conversation to see if it's a good fit for you and I to work together. But I'm gonna tell you something. The ones that are following the system, they're just doing so well. And you're no different. They just got to me, quicker than you have. Other than that, I can help you tremendously. Save a lot of time, energy, and money from trying to do this yourself. Okay. So if you want help with the word Airbnb in comments, and I'll help you. But this is how you're going to check your numbers to make sure that the property actually makes sense for you and your family to move forward. And as promised, I would, if I was looking to get another Airbnb myself, or in your case, looking to get your first or your next Airbnb. These are the 5 markets, in my opinion, that are awesome. I've got students that are doing well here, and I believe that if you pick one of these markets, you could do well as well. And that would be Jacksonville, Florida, one of the largest cities in America. Number 2, Santa Clarita, California. Number 3, Nashville, Tennessee. Number 4, Scottsdale, Arizona. And number 5, San Antonio, Texas. Thank you, guys. Let's roll.